Hi everyone, my name is Parsa. I'm a video game programmer, and in this video we're going to talk about what are extension functions. And this is not something necessary to know if you want to be a programmer or if you want to be a video game programmer. We're just going to help you to code just faster and in few less lines of code. And the only reason that I really love it is just because I really love to code fastest way humanly possible, and I learned these expressions, methods, and I love them. So I decided to make a video of that and show you what are they. Maybe you use them, and this is gonna be literally a library for you that you can just copy paste it into the next project and use it right away without changing even one line of code. So this is something interesting, and let's go ahead to see what are they and how we can make one. Let's go. So imagine this following scenario. Imagine you have a game that something is really repetitive, like you have to check if a number is even or odd. So all over your project, you have to say like if the number mod 2 is equal to 0, and all over you have to put something like this. But what programmers do is they make a public static class called, I don't know, helper class, something like this. And they make public static bool, and they're gonna say if number is even, and this is totally fine, and we usually do this. But right now I'm just gonna tell you how you can extend a function, and we go further after that. So we go like I mod 2 is equal to 0, and instead of putting like this into the if condition, we're just gonna say helper class that if a number is even, and we send the number into the parameters. And this is some things that usually programmers do, and I don't like it. I'm just gonna make it really small, fast as I can. So I'm just gonna add this into this parameters, and it means like we extend integer class this function. So we added this function into this class. So you can just say 7 dot if the number is even. That's what is extension functions. Like this is how it works. So you can just make an integer called I, and you can just say if I dot if the number is even. That's it. So it's just smaller than faster. That's why I like it. Now I'm going to show you another example of it. Imagine you want to check if a number is greater than the other number. So you can just say public static bool if number is greater than, and then in the parameters you can put this int I and int j. So we can just say return I is bigger than j, just return true, and that's it. It's really straightforward. We're just gonna come back to start function and say if number is greater than, and here we put j like 10 or something. Yeah, so I'm just gonna delete all of them here. Okay, so right now we can just check this if this one is working. We're just gonna check it in Unity. So we can just say debug.log, and it's gonna be greater than. There you go. So yeah, so we're just gonna say if this one is working or not. So save and come back to Unity, create a empty game object, and drag and drop your move function. You just call the start function in this script and run the game, and now you'll see our debug right here, and everything works properly. And I'm gonna tell you one more time, these extension functions are not gonna increase your performance or increasing your FPS. They're just here to just help you to code faster. That's it. Now I'm just gonna show you a real example of it. I had a 2D game that I was working on, and I figured out at some point that I am converting an angle to a vector too many times. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna make an extension of it, and I'm gonna use it all over in my project and very fast. And instead of just typing every time sinus, I'm just gonna make this extension. It's gonna do everything for me. So imagine this angle is moving, is changing all the time, and you want to get the direction of it. So what I do usually, I make a script which is like a helper class. I'm just gonna call it helper extensions. And here I'm just gonna put just remove this namespace and this one, and Control Alt L, just gonna reformat everything for me. And in Rider, actually, I don't know which one you're using, and then go public static vector 2, and actually the class should be static for sure. and then we go static vector 2 because we're gonna return a vector 2 of an angle. So we say angle to vector 2. And here we're just gonna send an integer. So we go this int I. I'm just gonna make vector 2 called v equal to new vector 2. v.x is equal to math.f cosinus of I. And v.y is equal to math.f dot sinus. There we go. We're just gonna return v, and we are done. So if we come back to our move script, you'll see we can just, I'm just gonna imagine you have a game that you have to change the velocity of the object. Like, so we have a rigid body 2D. So rb dot velocity is equal to the angle, the new angle that we have, dot angle to vector 2, and you're done. You can just use it all over your project, and also you can copy paste it into the next project. It's all good. And now we're gonna make a very generic extension. So imagine you have an array of numbers, and you want to fetch the numbers that are greater than a specific number. So I'm just gonna put like 1, 2, 7, and there you go. And the start function, we're gonna make a new array that we want to just fill it up with the numbers that we want. And I'm gonna call it greater than, and I'm just gonna make very basic extension and we improve it together. But let's go with greater than 5. Yeah, this is better. So what we have to do, like before, we're gonna make a public static. We're gonna return an array. So we return an array, integer, and get values greater than. And in the parentheses, like before, we put this, and array, int array, and the second one is the number that we want to get, like that is greater than. And it's not happy, you have to make it, yeah, it shouldn't be capital. Okay, so what we do, we make a list, and I'm gonna call it a list, new list, and here we're gonna say for each, I'm gonna say the array, if I is greater than, just add it into the list, and then we return the list dot array, actually, because we want an array, so we're going to say like list dot to array. There you go. We just made a very basic extension like before. So we put 5, and we can just test it in Unity, and we have to get 6 and 7 as a result. So let's debug it. So for each greater than 5, I debug.log I. So let's check it in Unity. And also this one is not happy. It just said like I don't want to be capital, but that's it. So you just come back to Unity and hit play, and you get 6 and 7 as results. So everything is fine. Our extension is working, very basic, but we're gonna make it generic. So imagine we want to put double here. So if you put double, this extension doesn't work anymore because we just made it for integer. What we can do is we can make it generic, and we can say like if it's type T. So what it means, like T can be anything, can be double, can be float, can be a car, can be any class, but T should be comparable. So we can just say var T is comparable. If I comparable, if I'm not wrong, yeah, if I comparable. So what we can do is we can just say I dot compare to the greater than is bigger than 0. That's how I comparable works. And there you go. And also our list should be type T. So because we don't know which type we want to just add into the list, and we are good to go. And if you go up, yeah, everything is working here. If you go up, you will see double is working for this one as well. And if you just change it to float or any comparable class, you'll see they're gonna work, and now we have a better tool. But why we stop here? If you want to have a list, not an array. So if you put list here, list of floats, for example, just gonna paste it right here, you'll see it doesn't work because we made it for an array of integers or array of any type, but we want to make it a collection or any collection of any type. So we can just say I collection of type T, and just copy paste this one to this array. I deleted the array, just gonna put array here. There you go. So right now it works for all type of collection, and it doesn't work. We have to change it to list because we're returning an array, and we can just delete this to array and return the list. And but here we have to have toList. If we delete it, it doesn't work. We have to put toList. So C# knows this one gonna return a list. That's it. Now we have a better tool. If you change this one to integer, I don't know, anything, just put anything you want and test it out, and put change it to any collection that you have it in your mind and test it. It works for all collections, all types, and yeah, now we have a better one. And what we do exactly after you put bunch of code in here, we test it out. So let's put a float here, like list of float. Float. Come back to Unity, hit play, and enjoy the results. Now we can go a bit further, guys. Right now we just can get the values that they are bigger than. But if we want to get a smaller than, what we're gonna do, we have to copy paste this one, change the name to a smaller than, go down, add another extension, and change the name to a smaller than, and do all those things that we had to just be able to get the smaller than. Which is so disgusting, guys. I don't like it. We want to make a very generic code which I can be able to get any number that I want. I want to get odd numbers. I want to get even numbers. I want to get smaller than. I want to do anything. So we're just gonna change the name of this function to like is true. Like if our condition is true, give us the numbers. That's it. So bear with me, it's gonna be so much fun, and don't scare, watch this video many times, you're gonna get it, don't worry. So we need to pass a condition, and we need delegate, which returns bool. So if the condition is true, we want to return those values. I'm gonna call it just function predicate, and here instead of t we have to put function predicate with a parameter, which is the parameter is type t, that we can send any type from our collection into this predicate to return. If the condition is true, it's gonna return us true, so we can save that value into our list. So to be able to make a delegate with parameter, you have to make something like this, g type g, and it's gonna give us an error which is saying, I'm really not sure. It's just saying this one should be public, yeah, because we are not able to access it outside, so it should be public. And here we can just delete this and say if our condition for each number in our collection, if is true, save that value into our list, and we are good to go. So you can send any logic that you want into this extension function, and you grab those values that you're looking for. I hope I could explain it well, and if you didn't get it, don't worry, it's just new for you guys. Just watch this video 2-3 times, you're gonna get it, don't worry. That's how I learned. Now that's the time to come back to our list and put any logic you want for your predicate. Like I want numbers bigger than 6, I want smaller than 6, I want anything. If the predicate returns true, we save those values. That's the time to test our beauty that we've made. So I'm just gonna say get the numbers bigger than 6 and come back to Unity, hit play. You'll see we get 7 and 199, which is working. You can put, I want to get an odd number, I want to get even numbers, all of them gonna work. Now I'm gonna show you one more thing that I'm sure that you had used it before, the extension function that we just made called var. This var function comes from LINQ extensions. LINQ's library, like actually LINQ is a library of extensions, and we have this var in it, which works kind of like isTrue function that we just made. This is really good. That's, you know right now how LINQ extensions are working, how they are generated, And why I can't figure out why I can, yeah, I don't know what is the problem with this. Let's see. Yeah, it's just gonna say, yeah, the array that we have is float and we're trying to make it integer like here. I hope that you enjoyed the video and have a lovely day. See you guys later.